really trying to listen to her, isn't he? Was that any better? Doubling back. And this does not teach a horse how to be balanced going down. But spooky on the cross-country course. And I took the bridle off him and put that thing on him, and he jumped around, not spooking at one thing. Press down and the opposite. Can you see how he shifts his balance? He has to use his back more. And it's really helpful. Now what I'm going to do is ask him for a how, and it's a different walk. And you can do it from the ground. You start it from the ground to get a horse to pay attention. And it's a wonderful thing if you have a horse who is jiggy or too slow. You actually slow them down. And I don't need the balance rein, but when I use the balance rein in conjunction with my bridle reins, it's just another information for him. And if you want to lengthen your horse's stride, you first shorten it. It's a really useful exercise. When they ride 100 miles with this bit, what it does is just keep the back soft and supple, and the difference in the degree of energy that the horse puts out is that's better to these signals, because the first time he didn't get to stop, did he? He didn't understand. Stop. Look. Ask release. Ask release. If your horse doesn't stop, don't pull. Release. I lighten my seat slightly and use the lower leg, but I lighten instead of pushing with my seat. And to stop, I close my thigh. I just close my thigh and lighten the seat also, because I want the back to come up at first. If the horse isn't collected, how can I expect him to use his back?
Rather than turning like this, was turning like this. He would twist
and
his head.
I mean, I'm telling you, I've taken horses that were so stiff they'd sort of, what they say, run away at the walk. In other words, you couldn't stop them at the walk. And put this on them with the bridle and start playing around like I did, because, and touching, see how light he is now? See him stop nicely? Cut off nicely. Now he was taking his head a little to the outside, so I just remind him, just keep your nose on the curve. He's so good, I overcorrected him there with my leg.
Perpendicularly. Thank you. It's going to support the bone, the tailbone, in a little bit of a lift. I'm against the point of the buttocks with the back of my wrist. My outside hand is going to find the bottom of the tailbone, and both hands are going to think up. So I have a slight curve in the tail. It's almost like a question mark thought. let's not step on my toe. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. And so I have my arm right against him so I can feel when he's going to move. So again, from my feet, I'm going to lift up, and I'm circling the tail from the base. And we've got a nice distracting friend back there. Good. Good boy. And I'm trying to keep the tail in a solid piece. I'm not twisting it. And again, it comes from my feet. I go in both directions, and he has a nice loose tail without being totally disconnected. Good. Slightly in front of the other, one hand in front of the other, and allowing the tail to sort of come out in a neutral angle from the body. I don't have a lot of, you know, it's not straight, it's just coming out how it naturally would. I'm going to think about just gently finding a little bit of a glide or some traction on the vertebrae. Pause. And then I'm slowly going to release it back and slightly in and back where I started. And ideally, and I'll do it again, ideally you're going to see more on the release than on the glide. And I pause and then slowly release back. And some horses you'll find will really start almost pulling into you. Because if you imagined you had a tail yourself, having a little bit of traction on your spine might feel kind of nice. I think I would like it. And I'll keep my hand on the croup, just in front. And I'm going to just think of this little movement of my right arm towards my left arm. And that's not easy for him. And that was very little. Like I had very little pressure there. So it may just be that this slight movement through the sacrum is a little bit tight and it feels a little weird. So I'm just almost going to think it. So I'm just thinking this little tiny movement of my right hand thinking towards my left hand. Very, very little. And this is an adaptation. This wouldn't be normally how I start, but I wasn't sure how he felt about me on that right side, so we want to do something that's safe for the horse and the person. Little lift, pause, and then a slow release. And again, you want to see more on that release than the up.
Really
quiet. Do you want me to ask, or do you want to ask? Well, yeah, that's fine. Just
at this point, we won't ask her to, Mandy won't ask to stop her until we get the lines on both sides.
I just wanted to check this out, guys. This is the lava rock here on Hawaii. It's amazing. Just different area, landscape. It's pretty cool though. And this is our little excursion that we're checking it all out. It's a pretty beautiful sunset.